Imagine waking up one day and finding yourself in a completely different time period. No smartphone, no internet, no electricity, just you and the world as it was hundreds of years ago. How would you survive? What would you do? In this video, we'll explore what it would be like to wake up in the old ages and how you can thrive in this new world. The first thing you'll notice is that everything is different. The clothes, the houses, the language, even the way people think. You'll need to adjust quickly if you want to survive. The first thing you need to do is find out where you are. Are you in medieval Europe? Ancient Rome? The Wild West? Once you know where you are, you can start to learn about the culture, the customs, and the language. Hello? One of the people speaks in a language the person doesn't understand. Person, I'm sorry, I don't understand. This is where language learning comes in. You'll need to learn the language quickly if you want to communicate with the locals. You can do this by finding a language tutor or using language learning resources like books or apps. Once you've learned the language and gotten to know the locals, you can start to make a life for yourself in this new world. But there are some things you need to keep in mind. First of all, don't talk about things that haven't been invented yet. You might accidentally reveal information that could change the course of history. You also need to be careful about what you say and do. The customs and laws of this time period might be very different from what you're used to. The person is seen accidentally offending a local. Person, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was offensive. One of the biggest challenges of living in the old ages is the lack of modern conveniences. You won't have access to things like smartphones, cars, or electricity, so you'll need to find new ways to do things. For example, you'll need to learn how to start a fire without matches, how to farm, how to hunt, and how to build shelter. This will take time and effort, but with practice, you can become proficient at these skills. Finally, you might start to wonder if you could use your knowledge of the future to change things for the better. But be careful. You don't want to change things too much and create a butterfly effect. In the end, the most important thing is to adapt to this new world and make the most of what you have. As you start to interact with the locals, you'll need to be careful not to reveal any information about the future. This could change the course of history and have unintended consequences. You'll also need to be aware of the customs and laws of the time period, as they might be very different from what you're used to. The most important thing is to adapt to this new world and make the most of what you have. While life in the old ages might be challenging, it can also be rewarding and fulfilling. You'll have the opportunity to learn new skills, make new friends, and experience a different way of life. And who knows, you might even discover something that could change history for the better. So, could you survive in the old ages? It won't be easy, but with the right mindset and skills, you just might make it. If you decide to stay in the old ages for an extended period of time, you may find yourself wanting to get married and start a family. This can be challenging, as the expectations and customs surrounding marriage might be very different from what you're used to. You'll need to spend time observing how couples interact and learning the cultural norms surrounding courtship and marriage. Traveling in the old ages can also be difficult and dangerous. Without modern transportation, you'll need to rely on walking, horseback riding, or sailing to get from place to place. This can take a long time and be physically demanding, especially if you're not used to it. You'll also need to be wary of bandits and other dangers that lurk on the roads. There's also the possibility that your knowledge of the future could get you killed. If you say or do something that's perceived as a threat to the powers that be, you could be accused of witchcraft or heresy and be put to death. You'll need to be careful not to reveal too much about what you know and be mindful of the consequences of your actions. After living in the old ages for a few years, you may start to feel homesick or out of place. The lack of modern conveniences and the stark differences in cultural norms can be challenging to adjust to. It's important to find ways to cope with these feelings and maintain your mental health. This could include seeking out social connections, engaging in activities you enjoy, or finding ways to express yourself creatively. If you do decide to get married, you'll need to navigate the complexities of being in a relationship without revealing too much about yourself. This can be challenging, as you'll want to be honest with your partner but also need to protect yourself and your knowledge of the future. You'll need to find a balance between being open and honest while also being careful not to reveal too much. Over time, you may find yourself struggling with the weight of your knowledge and the isolation of being the only one who knows what the future holds. It's important to find ways to cope with these feelings and stay connected with others. This could include confiding in your partner or seeking out other people who share your interests and experiences. Finding a work? Yes, that's a possibility. If you have knowledge of medical treatments or practices that are not yet known in the old ages, you could potentially become a valuable resource to the community. If you share your knowledge and help people, you may be seen as a healer or a wise person, and your reputation could grow over time. If you're able to establish yourself as a respected figure in the community, you may be asked to take on a leadership role or even become a doctor or healer yourself. You'll need to be careful not to overstep your bounds, however, and be mindful of the cultural norms and expectations surrounding medicine and healthcare in the old ages. If you do become a doctor or healer, you'll need to be prepared to adapt to the available resources and methods of treatment. Without access to modern medicines or technology, you'll need to rely on traditional healing practices and remedies. This could include herbal remedies, acupuncture, or other methods that may be unfamiliar to you. If you're successful in your healing efforts, you may become a well-respected and influential figure in your community. You could be called upon to treat a wide range of ailments and injuries, and your reputation could grow beyond your own village or town. This could also put you in a position of power, where you may be called upon to make important decisions or mediate disputes. However, with power and influence comes responsibility. You'll need to be careful not to let your position go to your head, and be mindful of the potential consequences of your actions. You'll also need to navigate the complex social and political dynamics of the old ages, where power and influence are often determined by factors beyond your control. In the end, the key to success in the old ages is adaptation and resilience. By being open-minded, learning new skills, and building strong relationships with the people around you, you can create a fulfilling life for yourself and make a positive impact on the world around you. Thank you for watching. The like and the share will help, and do not forget to let me know what do you think in the comments below.